intelligence artificial intelligence in the University of Lisbon. Okay, I acquired my master's in the University of Bonn, Germany. I also have a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering in Ladoke Akitola University of Technology. So I'm also an entrepreneur. I co-founded the Afridat Research and Innovation. GmbH is like limited in Germany, where we do project management. We develop softwares. I also co-founded Net Fiber Limited. This is based in Nigeria, in Abuja. So this is a fiber optics internet service provider in Abuja. So I'm also a co-founder of Life Learning Development, which also it's more or less of the German non-governmental organization way. Also there we do trainings, project management, research on this. So other things I also have co-founded, but I just think this is just probably important for our audience today here. So I want to go straight into the topic of today, which is AI-driven insights for business strategies. So first of all, what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? I know artificial intelligence, most people now see, for me, I see it as now sort of a buzzword, but buzzword with meaning. Everywhere is AI, artificial intelligence, right? So then, but what it is, what is it? What is AI? What is artificial intelligence? So in today's presentation, I'm not here to teach you. I'm not here to, lecture, theoretical knowledge, but I'm just here to share knowledge with you, okay? And I'm here to just, say it as it is. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, we're just simply talking about a computer system or a system thinking rationally. A system having to have human intelligence. I mean, the founding fathers, the so-called founding fathers of artificial intelligence, that's what actually at that time they thought, like Rosses and some Alan Turing, in the 1950s, they said, how could computer systems, then we have computer systems that are as large as rooms and all those stuff. So how could these things like human, how could this think rational? Okay, so there was this test that they said, okay, imagine there's a blind covering you and the other person, and you guys begin to make some conversation. How is it possible that a computer or a robot or a system could be in the other place to make a meaningful conversation with human being? When are we going to get to that stage? That was the thought of those researchers at that era. Okay, and that was, even when I can also say artificial intelligence has even come before that era in my own school of thought, but that is when, the study became to, evolve rapidly in the area of Allen, I don't know, I forgot his other name. So how could computer system think rationally like human being? How could systems have human intelligence? So artificial intelligence. So the ability of a system to be able to learn, to reason, to solve problems, to understand human language, natural language, to understand human language, to be able to have some sort of perception and also act on it, and adapt to different situations. You perceive, right? You think and you act. How do we allow, how can we make our computers or our systems or a system behaves in this manner? So that is what AI is all about. And today, artificial intelligence has various components, from the area of autonomous systems, I also studied autonomous system in my master's, and we did a lot of robots and autonomous systems, perception acts, different kind of algorithms we were working on. It's really because of artificial intelligence, these things has come to bear, right? And also, when you talk about artificial intelligence, some people just make, oh, artificial intelligence, okay. What are those components? What really makes up this AI? So one fundamental areas of algorithms is the machine learning, right? From the machine learning, we also have neural networks, which also give birth to deep neural networks or deep learning. Okay, so from these algorithms, machine learning algorithms, which encompasses various algorithms like random forests, uh, decision trees, support vector machines, and other kind of algorithms also emanated from a lot of statistical methods. Some of those were derived, logistic regression were derived from statistical methods. Okay, so there's also a founding blocks to all these things. So, and then we now have the machine learning, we have the deep learning neural networks. And with all these algorithms, right, they used to do various tasks like pattern recognition, recognizing patterns, that's what it means, in different data or in different scenarios. You also use these algorithms, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, and also other forms of algorithms like clustering algorithms, anomaly detections. They also use them in various applications like developing chatbots. Here, I'm trying to explain this image you're seeing here. This image you can find at the right hand side of my at the right hand side of my at the right hand side of my diagram. This place here. All right, and this whole AI thing has also cut across many domains. Talk about any domains that you can tell me of today. I can tell you exactly what artificial intelligence can do in that domain, right? In business, in agriculture, in any sort of domain. Today, there is a sort of a kind of a bit of AI being used in all these domains. In medicine, right? In computing, in any sort of domain, in even teaching, in many domains, AI now cut across. So it's actually still, I can still tell you, it's still in the infant stage, right? It's still going to be blow some more than this. As you can see today, you have natural language processor made from transformer-based algorithm like the ChatGTP. So the GTP, the TDI is transformer, So transformer-based, so all those also emanated from deep neural networks, from there with vision transformers, and they combine so many things. Now you have transformer-based networks that is used for language and NLPs, natural language processing, you know. So AI actually for me today, I think is something is the software or is a field of the future, and it is very important that all of us, especially in Nigeria, is into this trend. And I can remember when I was doing something like this as my master's, I think most of my peers were asking me, "What are you studying? What is this? What are you doing? What does this mean? How will this help you in future?" Well, I just said, "Okay, don't worry. In the future, you will see how it helps me." So I'm now telling you today that you all should come into this domain and use it in your various fields. So we are not saying you should be a full expert of how to develop algorithms the way I do, for example, no, we're not saying that. We are saying that you should be able to adapt it and also use it in your own domain, whatever you study. So I adopted this framework for enterprise AI adoption because we're talking about business strategies here today. Then I saw this particular framework adapted from Gardner, the framework for AI, for enterprise AI, and I think there's little information here for me to share with you, that you could at least go home with. So when I talk about artificial intelligence, I was talking about machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, and also the major component is the big data, which because systems, these algorithms will learn from data, right? So it's going to learn from data to be able to give us probably to predict, to have some sort of outcomes, for example, or the sort of results, right? But it's going to learn from data. And today you can see that data can be gotten in many forms, and nowadays we have the so-called big data. Just means that data now can come with speed, can come in volumes, and it can come of different types. All right. So it can come up in different types, right? And this comes with volume, speed, and the ability for us to learn, or for the ability for a system to learn very fast and give us, solution. Is very important in today's age. And what AI can do for us, or what these algorithms can do for us, is that it can help us predict outcomes, right? It can also help us classify things, so it does prediction tasks, it does classification tasks, and it also does what they call, it can also identify abnormalities. So it does what they call the abnormality detection tasks, right? And this particular tax also can be cut across in different kind of data, in both in image kind of data or in categorical types of data, or in even numbers, any kind of data. So, and even in text data. So when we talk about text data, we're talking about language, natural language processing, right? When we talk about vision data, you can see that nowadays AI can identify within a very group of large volume of images, it could identify which image belongs to which categories, right? You can do such just kind of tasks, right? Even in remote sensing, it can be able to identify if there is a land in Zambisa forest at this time, if you want to identify if there is probably a settlement in Zambisa forest, you can use AI to detect all those things. Because Zambisa forest has to be a forest, but if now there's a settlement, it means there's a change over time. Okay, so AI too is very efficient also in business strategies, in area of process optimizations, and business operations, in business automations, all right? And also even in the issue of talking, communication, conversation in business, because nowadays we have what they call this AI chatbots, which is also boosting them, right? Most businesses want to have AI chatbots. Okay, so AI cut across customer service, cut across human resources, marketing, finance, innovation in businesses. These are those blocks, fundamental blocks, even in decision making for management. You could analyze data, be able to make informed decisions. So when you do all this, what is the outcome of all this? It means there's what improved customer satisfaction. You will reduce cost of running business or cost of business. It will improve processes, optimize processes, generate more income. You have a competitive edge among your peers or among the others, right? You'll be able to make decisions quicker, faster, and you're able to reduce risks, because of well-informed decision you are making from your data or from your facts around you. And AI can help us make such decisions, the very best. Think like human, or even more than nowadays, more than some humans. So I will move to the next stage by just naming some few use cases, because the Dr. Martinson told me I have only 20 minutes so I was thinking I have 1 hour, so I can keep talking. But when I asked him, he said 20 minutes, okay. So let me manage the 20 minutes they've given me. So I just want to enumerate some use case for you where you could where AI is very beneficial, important, right? So first of all, in customer insights, right? Today, many organizations, very big organizations, use AI to analyze customer behaviors, right? Patterns, interactions, right? And that is why, for example, here in my example of behavior analysis here, I said analyzing web clicks. And that is why you can find out that as soon as you start searching for certain item online, probably something you're interested, before you know, when you go to your social media or you want to Google it, you start seeing the advert. How come I'm trying to search for this and now I'm seeing the adverts, different other adverts? So that is the power of AI, you know? So the power of AI for behavioral analysis, for sentiment analysis, you know, because you can process a lot of reviews, social media posts, feedbacks, tweets, and all those stuff. Company use this. In fact, this is a multi-million-dollar business for a lot of companies where you see that companies like X or Twitter those days don't they give you for you to use their social media website for free, but you discover that you discover that these people, when you value them, they are billion-dollar company. How do they make their money? It's because of the data they get, you know, and companies key in and buy this data, right, and use it to identify and use it for their business to know, you know, to identify where they want to make adverts, you know, to identify the new way, the new feedbacks, or, you know, about the certain products, or, you know, this is how this social media sites, you see that social media sites like Facebook and the likes, you know, you generate content, they want people to be in their platform, they give you some of the money back, they sell some to companies, right, who make adverts on it and all these things. So this thing became more robust because of the power of AI. So also in market insights, right? Retailers can use AI to predict trends, you know, still the same, you know, with analyzing huge big data from different sources, from news outlets, from market reports, social media. Business owners can use them to predict trends and what are people saying? What do people want? How do we tap into what people want? The task of certain item. How do we tap into it? You know? So these companies use artificial intelligence to be able to check market performances of different companies to even know their competitiveness in the market. So you discover today that anything now, if you talk about go here, data analysis, the job is everywhere. Because that's what they are using it to do. It's a multi-million-dollar business. Market insights, operational insights. So operational insight is that when you have a lot of information, there are some companies that generate a lot of data every day. How do they process this data? Because it's really difficult. It's very cumbersome for a human being to sit down and start processing data every day. It means you're going to employ a lot of people. And at the same time, you are going to make a lot of errors. And that is why artificial intelligence has also come to support us. You know, artificial intelligence is able to identify abnormalities in data. Abnormality detection, what I said before, abnormality detection, one of the tasks. So in processes, in operations, it can identify bottlenecks, it can identify inefficiency as those abnormalities. right? And be able to say, wow, there's an abnormality here. I think something is wrong. Please check. So in operations, in many companies, manufacturing companies, they they talk about abnormality detection. They talk about fault tolerance. For example, you want to know how if your machine, right, is able to be able to perform for quite a long time. Sometimes they use artificial intelligence to know exactly how long a machine can perform because of its usage, its daily usage, right? Probably they pick some sensors which give some data about the machine, the temperature, the this, that. From there, they use it to calculate, okay, if this machine keeps running this amount of time, means it's likely to break down in so date. So before the machine breaks down, they are able to, do some repair or some overhauling, and all this. So that's the help, the use of AI. AI also can be used in resource allocation, to be able to allocate resources more efficiently in terms of supply chain management. AI has proven to be very useful in this area. So in human resource insights, if you see today, there's a lot of, even when there's a lot of jobs, there's still a lot of no jobs. And when you apply in many bigger companies, I think I see them in big companies today. As soon as you submit your CV, they already streamline if your CV is in or out. Human being, it's not human being that is looking at your CV. They are able to extract your CV and pick keywords that tally with those keywords or matches with those keywords that they want to identify with for that job. So with these, they are able to streamline, just throw away a lot of CVs and streamline those CVs to the best fit, which they can now sit down, human to become to discuss, to look at it critically. So human resource, in terms of human AI, is very important there, and it helps to streamline CVs, and they help to shortlist best fit candidates, based on your CVs and motivation letters. So this is one area that business owners can use artificial intelligence. Sales, You see, sales, of course, is one fundamental part of a business. Without sales, I don't think you're in a business, right? Without having funds, money, it's just like the bloodline, lifeline in a business. And one way to get money is to be able to generate them through sales. All right. And today, what has artificial intelligence helps us, or how can it help us to do that? It can help us to identify people that are likely, or clients or customers that are likely to buy our product or to subscribe our services for our services. But before you, as I said, before you adopt AI for anything, you must be able to have generated a lot of data, right? It can help you identify the characteristics of customers that will likely subscribe to your service or buy your product. So if you know the characteristics of these customers, you'll be able to probably begin to make a contact, make a sales lead, and apply other kind of sales techniques to be able to reach out to these customers. So this area also, artificial intelligence is very key. In financial insights, today, most banks uses artificial intelligence to be able to know who are they likely to give loan to, who is likely to default, and who is likely to default, and who is likely to give loan to. So artificial intelligence made this procedure very easy because it helps us reduce a lot of errors. It makes company grow stronger, right? It makes things, I think, more easier, for company or business owners. With that, you'll be able to also, in terms of financial, right, you'll be able to use it to know exactly where you want to make some sort of investments in. In fact, today, some people use this artificial intelligence to do forex trading, every crypto trading, and every sort of trading. because with that, you'll be able to know, okay, this particular trading, for example, depends on one of its dependencies is the general outlook of or news, going on in world events. So somehow, like, even software like ChatGPT can help you even do this, if you know how to use it, implement it well. So probably this is one of the last, I think, use case that I jotted down, which is to make strategic management decision, because businesses uses artificial intelligence to evaluate potential impacts in entering new markets. So you have a good value proposition and you want to go into new markets, probably international markets. You first need to read reports, check news, check market reports and every other data, and you see how AI can help you to make informed decisions. I say you as an executive or a business owner can use take insights from the outcome and make an informed decision. So it provides data-driven insights that support strategic management, strategic planning, and good decision making. So these are the areas I think that for the case of this particular presentation, I jotted down to discuss with you. So thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, I'm also open to answer. So thank you. Mr. Adebi, I think I saw your message now. So, okay, thank you.
Very much, Mr. Shegun Ajibola. That was a really, really very insightful presentation. We are appreciative of that. Okay, the question and answer that would be okay after the second presentation. Are you okay with that, sir?
No, it's fine. It's okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so moving on, we are going to have a break before we have the second speaker, the person of Mr. Yusuf Aweda, the lead developer at Edge Doc. Okay, so we have some little information for you guys. I mean, in regards to uh, our service at Sai Global Limited. I'm trying to share my screen here. Okay. Okay, so at Sai Global, we so at Sai Global, the last session we do hold tech courses like data analysis, UI, UX, cyber security. So the last data analysis we held was data analysis with Python, and that was from 25th of March to 15th of April. And you will be certified with just a subsidized fee. Thousand naira. That was the last one. I can't say about a few months. Hopefully, in this third quarter of the year. So currently, we are okay. Currently, we are holding a session, a UI UX session, and I hope you can still enjoy. But that is too late. That has been called off. I mean, the admission part has been called off. So in the next few months, we would be holding another data analysis, but this would be an extensive one, not only with Python. We are going to take it from the essential part. That is, we are going to treat softwares like Excel, Power BI, MySQL, and Python. These four software would be addressed in the next data analysis session. So to follow more or to know more about uh, our activities, you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. You can just search Sci Global Limited. You would see us. You would see our page. So that is that. Okay, so without further ado, we should welcome the second speaker. Yes, the person of Mr. Yusuf Aweda, the lead developer at Edge Doc. Mr. Yusuf, are you there, sir?
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm here. So glad to be
Okay,
here.
you're welcome. You can have the floor, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, okay. Thanks. I'm quite excited to be here. Let me try to share my screen. So, and huge thanks to the first speaker. I quite enjoyed his awesome presentation. I hope I'm audible, right? Am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much. So, I kind of like the presentation of this first speaker, and you know, the awesome content has really helped in making my part of the presentation quite easy. It was quite insightful, engaging, and highly educational. So thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. And of course, I would like to say thank you to the organizer of this awesome event. It's a great thing to do, and I think having to create perspective in this direction is a productive endeavor that we should all encourage in this part of the world at present. So the topic given to me is unlocking opportunities in data analysis and mentorship, and I'm quite passionate about this topic because apart from the fact that I have a core technical inclination and experience in software engineering and network infrastructure design, after completing my MBA recently, I am currently running my DBA in data analytics, as well. So it's quite interesting, and I kind of find this topic, fascinating. So, data analysis can be best described with compelling example. So you could picture having, a supermarket like, say, ShopRite, and you have people coming around to shop every day, just a typical ShopRite scenario. And maybe after like 6 months, you have the records of the different transactions that that have unfolded. So you have it published, let's say, in a traditional way on an Excel sheet, or you have a system tracking the transaction, and you can export your data on an Excel sheet. You know that when you have few data, like maybe 10 lines of data of products that have been bought, it is easy for you to use your natural intelligence, human intelligence, to analyze the data. So if you have a 10 rows of data that captures, let's say, on Tuesday we sold five eggs. On Wednesday we sold five breads. On Thursday we sold 10 bags of rice. On Friday we sold this and that. If you have that data in 10 rows on an Excel sheet, it is easy for your perspicacity to capture the data inside of that Excel content you are visualizing. So you can know that, okay, on Tuesday we sold this product. Now imagine if you have to deal with 20,000 rows of Excel sheets. and you have to scroll down and scroll down and scroll down. You are just checking record of last 1 month, and you have to deal with 20,000 rows. It may not be easy for your natural intuitiveness to actually get business intelligence out of the data. And that is why data analytics plays an important role in getting business insight and data analytic tools, um, and the bit of also using data analytic tools. So with data analytic tools, you can actually get the data and upload the file to a software, maybe Tableau or Microsoft Power BI, or we're going to be talking about AWS QuickSight. I'm going to be talking about all of these pretty shortly. You are going to have a better data visualization when you now integrate data analytics tool. And you can actually make an impactful query that will reflect an enthralling business intelligence result. So, for example, if you have such data of about 20,000 rows, you could query the data using the software that, what was the best product we sold in the month? What was the product that people bought in higher quantity? And when you see that product, okay, let's say it is we have cards, greeting cards, and you're now wondering why is it like that? Okay, maybe you're trying to figure out what was the best product you sold in a year, and you realize that it was a greeting card and chicken and rice, and they had the same figure or very close figure. Those are the three best products. And you're not wondering, what month did we make these sales? Okay, so you can query the data to know what month. Of course, this data would have been quite easier to query if they were quite not much, maybe 10 lines or 5 lines. But now you're talking about thousands of lines of rows of data. So you can now detect, oh, okay, we made huge sales of chicken, rice, and cards in December. Wow, why is it like that? Why is it like that? Why did we have much sales in December? When you do further query, you now check the date. What date in December did we make such sales? Now you have now begun to use data analytics tool to get business intelligence, business insight from the data. And with that, you may now find out that you got high sales from December 23rd to January 31st. Oh, you now okay, you realize that that was the later part of the season. People would like to buy chicken to celebrate the end of the season, or they want to buy cards to in the offices, and we got small sales in groceries and some goodies because some companies wanted to have their cards accompanied with gifts like goodies and all of that, like an unpack. So now you know that you have made an interesting business intelligence insight from the data that you can plan for the following year. And this is, of course, the synopsis, the practical example of what data analytics is all about. And of course, we have the application of these in healthcare, whereby you can actually use data, gathered from different patients in the health sector to actually, come up with better medication for the people in the community. I recently had an also privilege to work with the PhD students in South Africa who was working on a project that would make people report hazardous effects of drugs when taken outside the hospital terrain. And what happens is when people go to the hospital pharmacy, they get drugs and they use the drug, but the drug eventually works fine. But sometimes they don't report the negative effects of the drug. And so that was the focus of the PhD research. So I was the lead developer for that project. Interestingly, the person has got to the PhD now. It lasted for about 3 years. So I wrote a software that was an offline mobile application that will enable people report the adverse effects of drugs, to the pharmacy that has a community, provision central database. And what happens is, if you use a drug and you have an adverse effect, you log the complaint. The software tracks your location. In fact, you can log offline. So what happens is, when you're online, it pushes the data to the central database. So the pharmacist and the medical expert can actually do run an intelligent data insight on the raw data, so they can determine, okay, we had people who complain of having body scratching when they use this drug, and this happens in this part of the country. So they know that in this part of the country, something is actually the architect of the reason why, the cause of why these guys are having this kind of effect, and it opens a new world of knowledge. So of course we could have health applications for data analysis. So data analysis is more than just a mere technical word. It is a critical skill, in the modern era. The ability to actually interpret and derive insight from data, which is of course is transforming industry, like I've mentioned, in the retail industry and the health industry. And of course, my awesome brother has talked about how artificial intelligence as well is actually changing our world. And of course, all of these beautiful transformations cannot be discussed without having to discuss about analyzing data. And this time, we are not necessarily using the human intelligence to analyze data using the software. We are now combining the data analytics tools and artificial intelligence. And that was what the earlier speaker was trying to talk about, which made a lot of sense and made my job quite easier. So we have this application in the manufacturing industry. And in terms of real world applications, you can also consider what you can see on the screen. A typical healthcare industry where data analysis is revolutionizing patients' care. Like the way I've described in terms of predictive analytics. So the medical expert can actually come up with compelling facts that a particular drug should not go to some certain areas, because there are compelling facts to show that this drug has adverse effect on those people, and this will open a new world of research to zoom to why such people are reacting to such drugs. We have also cases where this can be applied to, apart from healthcare. We also have manufacturing sector, and we have financial institutions, which of course you can have cases of data of fraud. Okay, because even if you are going to train an artificial intelligence on how to detect fraud using maybe Mastercard detection, fraud in using the Mastercard or online payment, you need data of similar cases that you would gather, and you will now plug in a data analytics tool to get an intelligence report of of the similar cases that have begotten, that have begotten a case of fraud in the financial sector. So we have such an analysis in that perspective as well. So it's pretty much useful on the financial institutions, and of course it helps in to detect fraud, assess credit risk, and also guided investment strategies. Because if you have been investing and you have data for your investment stored, you could also run data analytics to augment uh, understanding the business intelligence in that perspective. We have financial sector, Bloomberg, for example. They also use analytics to actually get a real financial data as well. So data analysis, data analytics is actually an awesome field that would last a test of time, because it is complementing the rise of the artificial intelligence. And data is a huge component and a fascinating ingredient that also drives machine learning, that is artificial intelligence as well. So there are quite a lot of tools that could help in visualizing our data for business intelligence. If you want to engage in raw programming, the MC talked about, you know, the organizer having an event not long on Python and data analysis is a perfect way to start. You know, Python has awesome provisions for analyzing data using using programmable option. So I use this option as well because in my office we run sales sales in services using a software, a platform called Salesforce. And sometimes we may want to make a kind of customized query on our sales for better business intelligence. And these customized queries might not come with Salesforce predefined framework. So we have API connection to Salesforce database, and like a write custom code to determine some certain things. The business owners might communicate me that Yusuf, can you zoom on the data from maybe an opco in Cote d'Ivoire or Cameroon? They just submitted the data. Can you write a script to actually give us a certain data for a particular month, for a particular telecom customer? They will define what they wanted, and I would have to write the Python script to actually do that. So once, if you want to take this perspective in your data adventure, I think it's nice because it gives you the skill of a veteran programmer, and you can do highly customizable query and advanced data analytics for an unprecedented business intelligence beyond the framework of what maybe Tableau or Microsoft Power BI could give you. So you could start by starting your adventure on data analytics using Python. Python has an enthralling libraries, that can help in this adventure. We have pandas, awesome tool, NumPy, math plotlib. I think when I started my adventure into Python for data analytics, I bought a course on Pluralsight at the time. Fantastic course. Python for data analytics, is a way for you to start. And another awesome way, which I will recommend, is to key in into an option that the organization is also giving forth, because you would have an advantage of also having mentorship to accompany your learning. Unlike when you buy a course from Udemy or Pluralsight, whereby if you have gotten the course, you have to deal with facing code errors and all of that. So from an organizational mentorship platform like this, I think this is a good way to start. So you can use Python libraries, and to actually begin your data analytics and getting some business intelligence inside. We have Microsoft Power BI is a very, very cool tool. It's a desktop application. You could use that. Then it's more of a desktop application that you install, but we have other services called SaaS. It is a software as service. So you have a software, instead of having to install the software traditionally on your machine, you can have them as service. An example is Microsoft Office. Back in the day, we used to have Microsoft Office installed on a laptop, which is still prominent. But you can also decide to leverage on the SaaS, which is the software as service, whereby you don't have to necessarily install the software. You could run Office 365 on the web interface, on the web browser, and it works pretty fine. Another software I would like to explore as a software as service is from AWS QuickSight. I've had to try it. Fantastic tool. You would love it. All you have to do is you have your data in an Excel sheet, upload it, and you're fine. So you can also productively play with artificial intelligence tool like ChatGPT, for example. It allows you to also upload a file. I know they now have the free version of file upload on ChatGPT version 3.5. So I have been using the paid version 4.0. So I enjoy the file upload option, and you can now interact with the file. So you can upload a file, then ask ChatGPT, you can upload an Excel file, then ask ChatGPT to give you the business insight from the data in the Excel sheet. It works pretty well. But I'm quite ecstatic that they have new option of the integration of the file upload option on 3.5 version, which is the free version. You can also use that to get business insight from your Excel sheet. Or alternatively, I've also, because the time, I don't have to be showing the practical inclination of this. So you could also use Microsoft Copilot is the ChatGPT version from Microsoft. Let me just put it that way. So that is the chat engine for Microsoft. So which allows you to open, you can open your file on the browser using Microsoft Edge. So Copilot comes pre-installed with Microsoft Edge, and you can just activate it. So you can open your file with let's say a PDF file or on the Microsoft Edge. Then you can click on the Copilot on the right hand side to interact with the file. So we don't have to pay extensively for ChatGPT 4, because I think the ChatGPT 3 for the file option they've given to you, uh, there is a restriction to how much conversation you can have with the interaction of the file. But if you use the trick of opening a file on Microsoft Edge, then you now click on the Copilot on the right side. You can ask the Copilot on questions on the file being displayed on the browser. So you can also use our programming language, to do statistical analysis and data visualization. You can use SQL for data handling. You can use Tableau for your data visualization. It works really well, just like Microsoft QuickSight and of course Microsoft Power BI as well. So you have Excel in data. And it's quite interesting to also share that Excel now has Python option pre-programmed in Microsoft 365. So if you are quite vast in Python, and you can now directly program your Python query on an Excel sheet, which gives you advanced business intelligence in dealing with, in interacting with the data. It's an awesome to you. You should try it out. Then, of course, this topic does have mentorship part as well. So now, effective mentorship, can be facilitated through platforms like LinkedIn Learning and the Coursera and some other platforms. So, and there's a way that it combines with data analytics as well. And of course, you could use tools like uh, Slack and Microsoft Teams to also create a platform to mentor people, and it also helps in spreading the gospel of artificial intelligence, because one of the ways with which you can actually propel the ideas of improving our worlds and driving the changing, the transitioning um, world of artificial intelligence is to create an ambience of mentorship, whereby one can actually preach the message of data analytics, and of course create more virtual platforms like Microsoft Teams or communities on any of the social media platforms to talk about how data analytics and delving on data insight can actually change our world. The way it can transform our health sector, our financial sector, and the manufacturing sector, and more importantly, the way it can actually make us do things seamlessly without having to, act more analog in terms of our dispositions. I think this captures what is required in terms of the mentorship, because the synergy between data analysis and mentorship also unlocks vast opportunities by utilizing powerful data analytics tools and fostering effective mentorship practices. We can drive innovation, improve decision making, and enhance overall performance across vigorous industry. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this awesome privilege and enthralling opportunity. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'm done. It's like somebody's trying to talk. If you're talking, you're muted.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aweda. We are really grateful for this wonderful presentation, and as well, Dr. Shegun, for giving us that inspiring presentation. So I'll hand over to Dr. Mati. Dr. Mati, are you there? Mr. Mahbub, are you there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Mati, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. Uh, it's quite insightful. We appreciate your presentation, and at least I've been able to pick one or two information, and I'll be able to use it on my daily activities. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that pick one or two informations from the presentation. So thank you very much. So the next thing now is for us to ask questions for those of us that have loads of questions for our presenter. Our first guest speaker that spoke on AI and business strategy, and our second speaker that spoke on data analysis and mentorship. So please, if you have a question, please kindly show your emoji, your status, to let us know that you have one or two questions based on what has been presented. So please, question time, please. So please kindly indicate if you have a question for the guest speakers. Hello. Okay, we can see one hand too. Okay. Please, more hands up, please. You have question. Okay. Okay, we have 4 hands now. So let me call on well, there's no hand. Who is iPhone? Please kindly change your the iPhone to your name, please, so that we can
Okay, I'll do that now.
Okay.
Is it possible I do that during the call?
Well, I can't say.
Let
You
me
can
just let me just
change it.
okay. Can I just go on with my question instead of that?
Okay, no problem. You have the floor now.
Yeah, basically my
So
question is
please,
not really anything
sorry.
much.
Hello,
Hey,
sorry.
sorry.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear, sir.
Introduce yourself, your name, what you do, and just your name and what you are doing. Yeah, then your question.
Okay, my name is Adebayo Mustafa. I'm actually a student hoping to get into or to dive into data analysis. I was not even sure it would be full data analysis class or something like this. It was just an impromptu meeting I got to note of. So basically, my question is the person who I don't know the person who attended after the first speaker was talking about some classes that have been done. My own question is not really based on what they've done. Everything that both lecturers, both speakers, said are very, very much clear. So I just want to ask that is there still going to be subsequently that kind of classes for data analysis and the likes?
Okay.
So
Yes, of course there will. Like I said earlier, I said there would be another data analysis session, which would be uh well, which should be an extensive one. And I said we will be treating for softwares, Excel, Power BI, MySQL, and Python. You know, the last lecturer has explained the softwares that would be needed for to be an efficient data analyst. So in the third quarter of this year, and which we are at the recipients of the third quarter of this year. So maybe let us see, like I said, you should follow our page, our social media page, Sci Global Limited on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So the next session would be discussed there, would be given up there. The information would be distributed there. So thank you very much for that question. And I am very sorry the network took slide of me, and I'm very sorry for that. So that was really an exhilarating presentation from both of our speakers, and I think we have questions. We have questions. Okay, so Mr. iPhone, is that question answered? Are you okay with that answer?
Yeah. Thank you. The name is
Okay,
Mustafa. Sorry.
okay, Mr. Mustafa. Thank you very much. Okay, let us see who we have. We have Mr. Shamsuddin Odu. Okay, you can go on with your
Hello,
question.
hello. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, first of all, on the issue of AI, I worked with a manufacturing company as the information technology security manager. I handled the cyber security where I was, and over time, though that we've experienced cyber attack in the past, and I think one of those things we later did was to automate our some of our defense mechanism, and then one it reduces our stress of monitoring devices. All we need to do is that it gives us an alert on anything going on. We receive a mail alert on any suspicious installation of any file on any of our workstation. So, but my question now is this: with the advent of AI going into businesses all over the world, my fear is won't that lead to loss of jobs? But if AI has not taken everything now, you are supposed to, though AI, we have the first lecture that told us some of the advantages we have in making of AI in our daily activities. Now, my fear is won't it lead to loss of jobs in the nearest future? So that is my question.
Okay, if I get the question very well, your question is the limits or the catastrophe that would be caused by AI in the employability process. Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Let me leave that to the two presenters. I think the first presenter should answer that. And if okay, anyone can answer that. Mr. Mr. Shegun Ajibola.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
thank you for the question. That particular question is always a question that I envisage that is going to come up, and it's always coming up in every fora I present or any fora you see people discussing AI. But the answer that I usually gather from this is that first of all, artificial intelligence has just created a new stream of jobs. Okay, so there's a new area or fields of jobs they have created. At the same time, they have not removed those ones that existed maybe in the 80s or in the 90s. They have not. So it is a complementary. It is not there to cause unemployment, no. Rather, it has created a new area, and artificial intelligence has created a new area as like a foundation, right? In a new area, factory of the future, agriculture 4.0, precision agriculture. But agriculture has been there, and it will be there. People will still go to farms. But what it has done is to open another frontier. Okay? So it's left for people to begin to skill themselves, upskill themselves, like attending this kind of training that you find here, the kind of training that has been advertised here, to be able to meet up. So maybe some people are afraid to upskill themselves. That's the problem. And when you fail to meet up, and again, as I said, it just came to improve our lives and create more jobs. It hasn't removed the existing cleaning jobs. It hasn't removed the existing building jobs. It hasn't removed the existing reception job. It hasn't. So I don't know if I've answered or if you have a counter argument what I've just said. So, Mr. Odu.
Yes, you've answered the question.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shegun, for that answer. We are really appreciative of that. That is very explicit,
Hello.
and I hope you heard that. Okay, so to Mr.
Hello.
Maruf Sanus. Okay, who is
Hello.
that? Mr. Habib.
Good morning, everyone. Or is it afternoon? Yeah. So just to buttress what the other speaker just said, I just want to add something to what he did. So
Okay.
there's this usual fear that goes around when people talk about AI and machines and all of that, about joblessness and creating a vacuum. So I just want to take it a bit back to when ATMs came up. I'm sure everyone here knows what the ATM machine looks like. Well, at least all of us have transacted with it. And there was a fear then back in the banking industry that tellers are going to lose their jobs. See, have tellers in the bank now. They are just doing something a bit different. So these instruments have come to make work easier and create a different dimension to what jobs actually look like. So rather than having your day-to-day activities, you are now so over a different. Yes, they are still in banks. They are not just as much, but now they are now much more involved in heavy transactions, and you have less people in the banks now. You don't go to banks and see those massive queues you usually see. They are very, very, very few. You have to be doing something very important that you need cash for, that you need to go to the bank. Now look at the advent of POS now. ATMs are not necessarily places that people go to, okay? And you don't necessarily have to start moving around to save your money. You don't necessarily have to even go to your bank. You can go to a POS merchant and do that, okay? The banks are still not closing. The people who are receiving your money at teller points are still there, okay? But it's now a different job role. It's not like it's business as usual. So he said something last, the speaker said something like that. People are also scared to upskill themselves. And that's a major factor. The world is gradually changing and everything is much more dynamic. So you have to get ready to upskill yourself. And part of the thing about even upskilling yourself is that your current role, whatever it is that you're currently doing right now, doesn't exist anymore. I am a data scientist and a data engineer. And I can tell you that it's gone way beyond what it used to be. Before, a data analyst could just sit down and just get data and you're fine and analyze and go away. But now you have to know processes around ETL. You have to know how data moves. You have to even understand business flow, business process flow to be a proper data analyst. That wasn't the job role some years back. So you have to get ready to upskill yourself. AI has not come to take your jobs. It cannot replace the human interaction, but humans as themselves have to actually upskill. So you have to find out what the new trend is, okay? And the fact you know the new trend today is new for today. By tomorrow, it's going to change. The likes of ChatGPT were not existent in 3-4 years ago, but now they are around and there's a lot you can actually do with artificial intelligence. So don't be
Thank you
scared.
very much, Mr.
Okay.
Habib. Mr. Habib.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Hello?
sir. We would save that one for our
All right.
panel discussion, sir. Yeah.
All right. No.
Don't forget your panelist. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, let us gain insight from Mr. Aweda as well on that question. Mr. Aweda, do you have anything on that, sir?
Yeah, okay. So I'm
Any
guessing
like
you're referring to the question on AI taking people's job.
yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think I'm quite impressed with what the first speaker has talked about, and of course the last speaker as well. So they've answered the whole thing. I don't need to, repeat what they have said, but truly they are pretty much correct. AI is just meant to, make things quite easier for us and to make uh, it's easy for us to creatively do our jobs better. So, and I also say that AI itself requires humans to be quite better because it gives more room for people to engage more in machine learning It gives more challenge to people who are getting the data. It gives more challenge for people who are to analyze the data. It gives more challenges to people who will building the software to analyze the data, and it helps people who would actually analyze the data better, which in return drives the whole adventure of artificial intelligence. So, just like people say that, is AI going to take the role of software developers? No, obviously, because software developers will still have to keep building softwares to make the job of AI pretty much excellent. So what AI does is it makes your job easy for you to do. So if you already have the skill of virtual programming, you could use AI effectively to make your work pretty much faster. So I'm in support of the two speakers. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. That was great. Thank you very much for the two speakers and as well as our to our panelist, Mr. Habib Zakaria. Okay, so to the next person, Maruf Sanusi,
Is
Mr.
Mr.
Maruf
Debbie
Sanusi.
there? Hello?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, there's a question
Yes,
on the chat unit. Please
I am aware.
kindly check so that they can the speaker.
I am aware of the question, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, can we have the question from Mr. Maruf Sanusi?
Good
Mr. Maruf
afternoon,
Sanusi.
sir. Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon,
sir.
sir. Good afternoon to facilitator for that wonderful presentation. My question is this. Okay, I'm Maruf Sanusi, and I'm an educator and a school leader. Having heard about data analysis and what it has been doing, it has been a kind of awesome experience. So I now determined that I want to transition into data analyst. I mean, to be a data analyst. So I started this with Coursera. I had a kind of probably a kind of financial aid to have that, and I've started it. But it got to a point I've done the Excel, the SQR, and all that. But I could see that it's not an easy task. It's a very difficult something that one has to be determined to get it done. So my question is this: that what advice can you give to people who want to transition into this data analysis to get it done easier? And this kind of workshop you're organizing, will it be a kind of avenue for someone like us who are into education to also be part of it, so it can assist us in getting that done? Because where I am now, at times I just say, how can I continue with this course? So that's why I'm asking if it will be a kind of avenue for people like us, some of us that are into education. And lastly, how can this data analysis assist some of us in terms of school leader and teachers in getting a job done easier and faster? So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question, Mr. Maruf Sanusi. Yeah, I get the question going from Coursera to. I think that has always been the drill. Coursera, Udemy, Data Camp, going to YouTube to watch videos of data analysts, but it is still not getting the job done, right? Yes, that has always been the drill. So, okay, let me leave that. Let us have our answers from our two speakers. Okay, Mr. Yusuf Aweda, please go first.
Okay, thank you so much. I think the answer to that is pretty simple. I vaguely mentioned about that during my presentation, and it all boils to the fact that you need mentorship during the learning adventure of this, because the learning curve can be sometimes pretty much demanding. So an awesome platform like this, would guide you, and that is why it's good to go through your learning adventure from an organization like this that will give you that holistic mentorship, because sometimes when you are learning some of these things, it can be quite exhausting and mentally draining as well. So you need a mentor who will tell you this is what you need to focus on now, leave this. After this, you go to this. Then if you're having a challenge, they can break down the challenge for you and relate to you in a way that will be quite easy for you to comprehend without ambiguity. So I feel the whole logistics about this surrounds having a mentorship kind of an umbrella surrounding your learning adventure, like we have on the platform. And I think this will resolve beneficial steps.
Yeah, thank you very much for that answer. Yes, that is just the solution. Having a mentor. Yes, you are this person that's like learning by your own self, but you still need a mentor. You need a person that would show you, oh, this is the ETL process I've used when I was doing this. Okay, check in my look at some of my projects. This is how I have done it, and it makes it very, 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 very easy for you. A journey of 7 years with a mentor can be reduced to maybe a year or two. You understand? Okay, let us have an answer from the first speaker as well, Mr. Shegun. You can have the floor, sir.
I think Mr. Yusuf has said everything. I can just say that you should be patient with yourself. Don't bite yourself too much. Try to attend training like the training we are hosting here in Sierra Global, so that you can ask direct questions that they can put you through. So some people are very good in learning from themselves using YouTube and any other means. And while some people are very good in allowing, going to classes where people can teach them, it's all okay. So when you identify your personality and what you best works for you, then you follow that path. So in your case, I advise you should enroll for this training and don't give up. Always be consistent. Be consistent with it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shegun. Mr. Our panelists will also discuss that in the panel session. So I enjoy you guys to wait for that. Okay, let us go to the next person, Mr. Kazim Lawal. Your question? Oh, you have your hands down already. Do you still have a question, sir?
Yes, so thank you for the opportunity and well done to the speakers. So my question is, yes, we've been hearing the buzzwords, like the first lecturer said, about AI, data analysis as popular fields. But what do I stand to gain if I learn these things, right? What do I stand to gain aside learning it for being a trend in something in vogue? What do I stand to learn? What do I stand to gain? What are the job opportunities awaiting me to get it? Those are the parts I think I need help on. Thank you.
Okay, what do we have to gain? What is the end product of learning data analysis? That is really a nice question. Okay, Mr. Shegu, we can have the floor, sir.
So, all right. Again, I said it's buzzword, yes. However, is it very impactful? Is it beneficial? Yes. Okay. It's not because you learn artificial intelligence, then it's a must you get a job easily. Also, it depends on many factors. So if you're talking about the Nigerian society now, as you can see, there's almost no job or underpaid job there. Okay, so many things, the economic factor of that country also depends on everything. Then if you go to countries where there is job, all right, then you can easily get a job if you are looking for a job and you have that skill, because many companies needs it. All right, so we have enumerated most of what they use it for in terms of business in the business area. However, it's cut across almost all field. So there's the usefulness is wide. It's wide. So you will learn it. Also, remember, maybe you're in Nigeria. Remember, you're in Nigeria. Remember, it's only probably few companies that may be adopting it compared with the population of unemployment in Nigeria. But if you go to some countries where unemployment is very low, so you have a competitive edge among your peers, right? So because there's a lot of, let me talk about Western world or Europe in general. So there's a lot of funding going into this, money going into this, means government is funding a lot of projects in AI. Companies are pushing funding. So it means they need more hands. So there's this employment opportunity. The employment opportunity in this area is great. But in Nigeria, I think, apart from the Minister of Digital Economy that is trying to push little grants for AI, and some other companies that already know the nice, the benefits, and but still, it still depends on the economic situation of that place, of the country. So if you want to learn, if that's what you think you can and you can learn, then you go ahead. You might not get opportunity in Nigeria, but you might get abroad one day. Okay, but don't say because you learn AI then you must get the opportunity in Nigeria, because it also depends on other factors. No job, economic is it's not making sense at the moment. I don't know if I answered you, or probably I'm missing something. Who was is it Mr. Sanusi? Were you the question, the person that asked the question?
Mr. Kazim.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Okay.
So
Thank you very much, Mr. Shegun.
yes.
Very much for that. We are appreciative. Okay, Mr. Yusuf, do you want to give an answer to that as well, sir?
Not at all. I'm pretty much in support with the
Okay. The last but not the least question, we have that in the chat box. It goes, how can we utilize AI into data analysis by using Power BI, Excel, and
Mr.
SQL?
Mabu.
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Mabu. Sorry for cutting in. Yeah, thanks so much for the response, Mr. Shegun. Yeah, exactly. It is important to let us understand that in the Nigerian context, there is no job, or there are inadequate jobs out there. However, the first thing is to understand the skill. Then, having known the skill very well, either intermediate or even advanced, the next thing will be to now look inherently, to think outside the box. There are so many problems affecting us in Nigeria. To think outside the box and look at what are the problems that are around you that you can solve. And having understood all those things, there are gigs platform that you can explore, like Fiverr, Upwork, and so many others like that. And even putting yourself on your social media, that TikTok that you have seen. The next advancement in this AI is that TikTok that they just got in recent time, which has upgraded the values from the Facebook, Telegram, and the rest. So putting your impact there, your footprint there, that you can do this, you can do that, will definitely generate traffic, and people can always consult you to do this. So the fact that you have been able to do one successfully, others will follow. So Nigerians, we should try, and that's the essence of this program, to think on how we can solve problems. Because when you solve problem, that money you are aspiring for will definitely come. So with this, we can always look for opportunities and put yourself out there. But the first thing is, like Mr. Shegun and Mr. Yusuf mentioned, let us take that time and be patient to learn that skill first. Then after that, then we can always get whatever we want. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Dr. Isa Iligwide. Yes, that is it. Learn. Then after learning, you build projects, have a mentor, then you apply for jobs, whether if a as a freelancer, or a part-time or a full-time job, remotely or on site. So that is how it is done. Don't worry, we are going to discuss more on this in our panel session with Mr. Hassan. Okay. To the last question, as I was saying in the chat box, we have, how can we utilize AI into data analysis by using Power BI, Excel, and SQL? That is the first one. And secondly, how can we transform data? How can we transform from being a data analyst to a data scientist? Okay, let me have my own say on the second one. Let me just give a brief on that. Okay, as a data analyst, or should I leave that for the speakers? Let me leave that for the speakers. Okay, you can have the floor, sir. The first one, how can we utilize AI into data analysis by using Power BI, Excel, and SQL. So let us hand that to Mr. Yusuf. Mr. Yusuf, are you there, sir?
Yeah, yes, I was trying to unmute myself. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So, in transitioning from data analyst to data scientist, right? Right? Is that the question?
Yeah, one of the
Hello?
questions.
Okay, fine. So I think it is important to actually get the distinctiveness between the two. A data analyst focuses on interpreting existing data to generate actionable insights, often using tools like SQL, Excel, and Tableau. So but a data scientist does not do that alone. They analyze data, but they also develop models to predict future trends and solve complex problems. So, using machine learning, statistical analysis, and programming language like the one I mentioned, Python, R, and it's more exploratory and involves creating new data processing algorithm. So, but as a data analyst, you already have the solid foundation in data manipulation and visualization, maybe using a Power BI, Microsoft, AWS QuickSight, and the like. So to transition to a data scientist, you need to first build on this foundation, deepening your understanding of statistical methods. Before you say you want to transition into data scientist. Okay, so you have to advance with your understanding of the statistical methods and machine learning algorithm. You have to advance with upscaling your skill on Python, and you start by learning basic probability, statistics, linear algebra. Oh my God, so somebody that is coming from a non-science background, you didn't study science in secondary school, you didn't study algebra, you know, you want to transfer to data scientist, you have to take your time to understand this basic mathematical, you know, perspective of algebra, most importantly, which is, of course, the bedrock of data scientists. Anyway, yeah, I recently took a course on Coursera as well. I appreciated being coming from a science background, and I have to go back to my algebra, basic algebra. It's very much important. Okay, so you also have to acquire more technical skills like proficiency in programming. I just mentioned Python. It's a crucial, for data scientists. While you may already be familiar with maybe SQL, from being a data analyst, it's also very, very much important with that requirements to learn programming language like Python deeply, because these languages will help to widen your knowledge because they are used in data science community for powerful libraries and frameworks such as Pandas. I mentioned it before, NumPy. There are quite a lot of them. TensorFlow, oh my God, from Google. It's a huge adventure. So I feel this will help in embracing the new intellectual adventure. I don't want to publish a textbook talking about this on and on and on. So I feel this should be enough. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. That is just it. Yeah, that is just it. You know, data analysis and data science. Data science is just, you just have to have, much knowledge about programming languages, Python, not only Python, R as well, maybe. So you can just have either of the two, Python or R or both. Then you have to be versed in machine learning and statistical analysis and the like. So that is just it. Okay, first question, which is how can we utilize AI into data analysis by using Power BI, Excel, and SQL? Okay, that would be awarded to Mr. Shegun. Mr. Shegun, sir, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Um, the thing is, according to Mr. Yusuf, he said you should first distinguish between data analyst and data scientist. So sometimes we shouldn't also be always trying to combine this stuff. So data analyst, of course, as perceived, Mr. Yusuf have also defined, which you had clearly. So when you talk about Power BI, talk about Excel, these are the tools used for data analysis, right? Excel sheets where you could have your data there, and then with the data, you can plug it with your software where you could probably see you could probably get insights of what your data is talking about, you know? So Excel also can also be as an input, it can be your data as an input. So your algorithms. So when you're talking about data science in general, as Yusuf also mentioned, he has mentioned the tools, and also he has also mentioned the theoretical background you should have, right? So theoretical background, so those statistical algebra, different matrix manipulations and likes, and all these probabilities, optimization strategies, or search optimizations. Fine. Those also builds into knowing the various machine learning algorithms, the deep learning algorithms, and the other new algorithms that are there that researchers like I are producing nowadays. So, but I would like to make you know that understand that that is the theoretical background, and you should have some software skills to be able to write those program codes, those machine learning codes. You should have those software skills, and those software skills require tools like we have mentioned Python, PyTorch, TensorFlow, every kind of all the library you find in scikit-learn library. Those are libraries that you can use. Then you have the IDEs where you can do this, like you have your Jupyter Notebook, Google Colab, right? These are where you can perform your operation in terms of data science, right? Power BI is a software, of course. I think it's also it could be paid for, but they have many open source softwares, which I usually advise people to go for. Power BI is one. It's really interesting, nice, right? And it's good for companies. But if you want to be a researcher or a data analyst, you must be able to use most of these open source softwares, okay? And use them well. Then Power BI will be a plus for you, okay? SQL, of course, has been there for data manipulation, right? So you have to know when you talk about structured data and unstructured data. So yeah, so these things are knowledge where you have to sit down, work with a mentor, right? Read, write to be able to know. We should not put everything together. We should not mismatch it. We should know where you need to know the theoretical background, the tools, the IDEs, what is going out and what is in vogue, or what, it's very useful at the moment how to learn. So I don't know if I've answered that, but in general, it requires a lot of patience, and continuous reading and study, because every day new things are coming out. All right. So I think I tried to answer all the questions, both questions, somehow.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that. We're appreciative of that. Okay, moving on, we are going to move on to the next session, which is the panel session with Mr. Habib Zakaria. Okay, I'm thrilled to introduce him, and he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise to this panel session. And okay, please join me in welcoming Mr. Habib Zakaria, a data analyst, a data engineer, and he is as well a business intelligence analyst. Mr. Habib Zakaria, you're welcome, sir. Are you there, sir?
Good morning, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, sir.
Like the MC rightly introduced, my name is Habib Zakaria. I am a data analyst, a data engineer, and a business engineer analyst. I currently work with Health Insurance Group. I've had over 10 years experience as a data analyst. So that's just summary about me. I think I didn't start out as a data analyst. I have an MSc in zoology, funny enough, but it was just a skill I picked up, and it was fun when it started, and I decided to just dive in and become very good at it. So that's just me in a summary.
Okay, I think you answered our first panel question already, which is, can you briefly introduce yourself? And you have gave justice to that already. Okay, moving on. Please, can you describe your experience with AI and data analysis, like your experience with in the integration of AI and data analysis, sir?
Okay. So AI has been. I'm looking for the right word. It has been awesome since this new generation of AI, basically, and integrating it into processes around data has also been very, very fantastic. So one of my first experiences was, I remember when Copilot was introduced into Power BI. So now you have an AI that literally walks along you as you are analyzing data on Power BI. So it makes suggestions based on what you're trying to analyze. It reads your data sets, gives you suggestions on what you should analyze, what your results should be, best visuals to actually use. If you're going to write a DAX, it tells you that this is what you are trying to write. It assists you. So imagine having that level of work, that things that might usually maybe take you 2 to 3 hours, you are able to achieve it in 30 minutes. Okay. It's literally just wait for an input. Once you are typing what you want to do from the first, instead of it getting even your data sets, it gives you an idea of where you are headed. And that has really, really made the job very, very easy, like very easy. And they've giving out insights now is now in minutes. It's now in minutes. We're not even seconds now. We're not even talking about the usual, okay, don't worry, I'll get your dashboard ready in maybe by 2 p.m. No, we're getting dashboards ready in 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and we're done. And we move on to the next chapter. Another wonderful thing in terms of the insights is that in terms of proper analysis and getting it as precise as it should be. Because now you're not just doing it with your wit. There's like it's called a co-pilot. So you have someone that's assisting you in these details. Okay. So even in terms of the output itself, in terms of your findings, you have a co-pilot that gives you a summary of what your story should actually be, like what you are trying to explain. Okay. Another one is the ChatGPT. Using ChatGPT for things around data. So now you have ChatGPT that reads your data. You can upload data files into ChatGPT. I've used Gemini too. That's Bard. I've also used Bard, and these things literally analyze your data for you. You have to know, definitely, they still need human interaction. So that means you have to ask a question. There's something you are trying to get. It understands that level of granularity. So you already know, you pass a question to these tools, and they give you the right insights they are looking for. It might not exactly be it might not be 100%, but at least they push you a bit further. So you already have a summary of what you want, and then you can actually feed the rest into, bring your intuition and just feed up the rest. So it's in bringing it into data has really made processes very, very fast. And even process automation, like I mentioned earlier, as a data analyst now, you have to understand process automation. So how the business processes move, making it easy for data to move end to end, results to move end to end, stream data end to end. AI has come in to block most of all these things that takes us hours to test, hours to check this. You get your results literally instantly, and really, really helps us reduce that time gap. So that's one of my experiences, or some of my experiences, using AI into my daily work as a data analyst. And well, it's been a very, very exciting stage, and I'm still looking for the much more. I want to see exactly how much the AIs available can actually even do more than what they are currently, because right now they are doing a whole lot, but I'm very sure that they are going to be capable of doing way more very soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I will invite the two speakers to give us their take on that question as well. So, to Mr. Yusuf, can you describe your experience with AI and data analysis? I mean, the integration of AI in data analysis. Can you describe your experience in that, please, sir? Mr. Yusuf, are you there? Mr.
Yeah.
Yusuf?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I lost you briefly. Okay. I'm connected now. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello.
can. We can.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the question, please?
I said, can you describe your experience with the integration of AI in data analysis? Integrating
Okay.
AI into
Well.
data analysis. What has been your experience
Okay.
like?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's a kind of a broad and complex question, but I'm going to make it simple. So I've been leading a team to integrate certain AI provisioning in Africa. So I think one of those examples will be the uh, Vision AI technology we are provisioning in Zambia. So basically for the agricultural sector, so we have a Vision AI technology we have built to actually help the farmers to be able to do pest control, to be able to you know when it is time for their products to be ready for harvest. Then of course for security as well, so we're running different models to actually ensure that some certain animals do not come in contact with in some in the geofencing terrain. You know, if it does happen, there's a snapshot that will be sent to the database and a notification email to the people involved. Then, so that is one perspective in terms of agriculture. We also have other ones that we're doing for oil companies. Um, I'm actually I've actually architected one for one of the oil companies in Nigeria. So basically, what they wanted was from the oil well, they want to be able to monitor smokes. Okay, they want to be able to monitor if there is someone coming around the terrain with a gun. You know, they want to be able to monitor if there is any oil spillage, on the floor. So uh, there's a lot that have got to do with security, and of course in the oil well terrain for oil and gas sectors. And of course, we've also done a couple of projects on AI integration in health as well. And the final one I will talk about is AI integration in document intelligence. So I also recently led a software development in Abuja for one of the security agencies of the federal government. So it was basically to make sure that communication line that has got to do with security, security of documents for military endeavors are protected, such that information are not leaked, and for highly confidential documents, when these documents are meant to be communicated from one person to another, there's no sabotage involved and all of that. So there's AI integration in that communication, and of course, we also have AI in extracting certain content from the document, which of course my brother talked about earlier in his presentation. So these are the experiences I could share. Thanks.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Habib and Mr. Yusuf, for that. Okay, so the next question is that we all know uh, the gravity of having a mentorship, a mentor rather. I'm sorry. We all know the gravity of having a mentor. So we know that mentorship is particularly important for all tech enthusiasts. This is not limited to only to the data analysis niche. I mean, it is very important, and we want you to share some personal stories or examples where mentorship significantly impacted your sojourn as a should I say as a technician? Yes, let me use that word. as a technician. Can you share some personal stories or example where mentorship has come to your aid? I mean, how it has benefited you? That to Mr. Habib first. Mr. Habib, do you get the question, sir?
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself.
Okay.
Okay. So mentorship. Yeah, mentorship in any facet of life is quite important, and have someone to guide you and at least help you through the ropes is always very, 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 very necessary. Okay, one of my experiences, well, I think was my earlier years working, I think when I started proper data analysis. I think that was when one of my mentors then, it was not even around data, even data analysis as a whole. It was more around the job as a whole. And I was having an issue trying to balance exactly how I was working and how my deliverables were actually going. So, and it was actually my line manager and was my mentor, lucky enough for me. So he helped guide me on how to manage my delivery, because most times when you are in a very busy work environment, you could have multiple tasks and everybody's expecting you to actually deliver on these things and everybody's just calling. And it was really affecting how my deliverables were working. So it helped me create like a sort of an approach to actually handling most of all this. Okay, when this person comes, give a proper timeline and all of that. And even it was actually the first person that introduced me into like time management and being able to create like a Gnat chart that I can actually use to monitor my progress and all of that. So having a mentor doesn't necessarily have to be, the person doesn't necessarily have to come and guide you in terms of what you are currently doing in terms of that particular role. It might be around some other things that are surrounding that particular role. And that was one of my experiences that has really, really helped me, that I still pass on to the people that are in my team now, in terms of time management and actually how you manage people. Because you'll be in an environment, especially when you are even a data analyst, and there's a whole lot. Everybody wants a report. There's a dashboard that has to go on. There's a pipeline that failed. There's an ETL pipeline that failed. And all these things are just, you are being overwhelmed by the job itself. Okay? It can create a level of unbalance around you. So, but if you have someone to help guide you around how these things are properly done and how to just weather the storm and be calm and be a bit much more level-headed, it will actually really help you. So having a mentor in a career is very, very important. They help shape and guide you through all those places that would most likely be a bit difficult for you, but give you an idea of, okay, this is how you should do this. This is how this is not being done. And at least once, and that person is someone you respect, they help shape how you grow in the industry. So that's my experience.
Wow, that was a great one. Okay, to Mr. Yusuf, please can you share your experience? I mean, share some personal stories or examples where mentorship has.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, permit me to actually excuse after this because I have another meeting I should be going into very shortly. So, I would say mentorship has played a lot of roles for me, especially when I wanted to transition into working for a proper company. I had had experience of working for 12 years for someone, a one-man business. So transition into a real multinational company where there's a structure was a pretty much you know new demanding thing for me to face. So because I had a mentor, I was guided on, okay, if you're going for the interview, this is what you should agree. This is what your job role dictates in the labor market. This is the limit with which you can go. Then, this should be your negotiating power. This should be your response to this and that. So that actually helped me so much because one actually does need a mentor, especially in a field that on an adventure you have not lived longer with. So I would say it's an important thing. So I'm pretty much glad to be having the privilege to share my experience and to give a talk on the topic. I have another meeting I need to jump into, so I've taken permission from Dr. Boya Kutani already. So thank you guys for having me. I'm pretty much honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Isu, for your time. We are really appreciative. You have really, really, really done so well. Thank you very much. Okay, I think for the last one, we are done with the panel session, but we will be asking Mr. Habib to give our participants a take home. Yeah, what do you have for our participants? I mean, what is the advice you want to give them, sir?
Um, I would my take home for everyone is whatever it is that you intend to do, give it your 100%. Always be sincere in every approach. Don't assume, because especially if you are going into the world of data, assumption is not a very, very nice thing to do. So don't assume. Give it your 100% sincerity, and don't ever look down on yourself that there's nothing you can't achieve or learn. Like I said, I'm not a data person. I didn't start out to be an IT person. I have a master's degree in zoology. So when I tell people, it's always fun. But here I am today. I am leading a team of data analysts. So if I can do it from not having a background of data, why can't you? So whatever it is you choose to do, just be dedicated, give it your all, and definitely it'll work out. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Habib, for that. Okay, so let me just highlight what we have done today. We talked about the two topics, AI and business insight, how we can integrate AI to generate business insights, and we talked about data analysis and mentorship, how to delve into data analysis, what is needed for you as a data analyst, and why should you get a mentor. Well, I think me, I've gotten another mentor today. The three speakers are now my new mentors. So I hope I'm welcomed. Mr. Habib, I am. Am I? I hope I'm welcome to be your mentor, sir. To be a mentee, rather, not your mentor. That's a slip of tongue. Okay, so that is the end. Thank you very much for participating in this session of ours. We are really appreciative of your time, and worry not, if you want a certificate, there's certification for this session. I think it is on the flyer. You can see it there. The certification goes for 2,000 naira. That is if you want a certificate. So you can message us through our website profile, or you note down this number. I'm going to call the number. You can reach out to this number, and you can pay. You'd be given the account details to pay your for the certification. For the certificate, you'll be given an account to pay the certificate into. Okay, so that is all for today. Thank you very much, and let us have the closing speech from the director himself, Dr. Isa Eliquide. Dr. Isa. Okay, Dr. Isa is not available. Okay, let me give the closing speech. Thank you very much. Sai Global Limited appreciate you all for your time, and you all are welcome. So for our next session, yes, I said we'll be having a data analysis session, which would be discussed, which would be disclosed on our platforms or our social media platforms. So you all should be very, very. You should visit our pages so you can communicate that to you guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and that is all for today. I remain my humble self, Mahabubullah Adibi. Thank you for having me.